Everyone, we wanted to take a quick moment to thank all the listeners, the viewers, and of course the patrons out there. The team here at Vectorsigma hopes that we can bring a little levity and a distraction from the weight of the real world. Time is always precious, but that has become even more obvious now. We want to say that we really do appreciate everyone out there that's spending their time with us.
Alright, we are going live. I will let you know when we're there. Alright everybody, welcome back to our second night of the Alpha Trion tournament. Today I have my guest and co-host for the evening, Mr. Scott Landis. How are you doing, Scott?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, I'm already getting judges because they already can hear me. I am turning it off right now, you guys got me. Oh no. Alright, so there's going to be a middle of a mix-up. You guys are going to have to hear this for a second, and then I'm going to have to set it up, so it's fine. You guys can all hear us. So, let's get into the stream, and what I'm going to need you guys to do for me is let's break down these games a little bit here, Scott. So we have Ventrick on the right, and we have OneOfTheDark on the left, and we have Ventrick playing a Horribull Sky Shadow deck, and we have OneOfTheDark playing a Wind Charger Blaster deck.
A Sky Shadow deck featuring Horribull, yes.
Yeah.
We don't know the quality of the deck.
That's fair.
Do you want me to share this to YouTube, to Facebook also?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going, sir.
All right. So you got to judge last night during the stream. You got to watch OneOfTheDark's games. So you've already seen this Blaster deck in action. What do you have to say for the Blaster decks that you've seen in action so far?
So the point of playing with Wind Charger was that on turn one he could get a large attack if he goes first against like the mirror type situation. Obviously he has like multiple +4 adders, which given flips and all that, you can potentially get up to 13 is the point. To take out Fangry in one hit is what he told me, but I'm not positive that it's consistent enough to do that. He does have some blues in here. He has tripwires, things like that. I actually thought it was interesting. I thought it was one way to get ahead of some of the wider decks was to just basically get more plays. But I'm not. You basically need to draw really well in order to compete with like some of the wider Titan Master decks, because like they just wind up being wider than you, and Sky Shadow just gives you such an advantage when you're an Autobot based deck to like basically start with 3 damage on one of your guys is like not good. So
Yeah, so I was looking at the list and I thought it was funny because when Dark sent me the list right away, he's like you have to show this to Vince. So you know I know Vince saw it and he was pretty excited to see what he could do with the event. So it'll be cool to see what this Wind Charger can do. We saw Wind Charger last night on stream and it was against the blue deck, so it wasn't as powerful. There's a chance that in this orange mirror that we could see something very different though.
Yeah, the main issue again is 2 defense characters. Like you put out. I think one of the issues with his list is there's just not a plethora of direct damage in it. Right. Because there was a lot of opportunities I saw last night where, I mean, in fact, looking at his list, all I see are the 2 tripwires. I think that's the real problem with the deck, is that there's just not any direct damage in the deck, and so like he has absolutely no chance of like stealing attacks from his opponent. And I think that if he had like a bunch of Camion crashes and like even like if he had like 5 direct damage cards, I think it would be really powerful. Right. But like missing them, I think just really hurts his ability to win in these aggro mirrors, especially against Sky Shadow.
Okay. we're gonna break it down and see what happens. And I'm gonna check over with the guys and let them know that we're gonna get ready to get started. Yeah. All right. Let's hope that works.
If they can hear you, tell them to.
All right, guys. If you can still hear me, make sure Horribull's in the correct mode to start the game. All right. I'm officially muted. They can no longer hear me. Welcome, stream. Here we are. This is it's weird for us because this is Dark's second round, but it's Ventrick's first round, and this is just kind of the nature of the way we're running this tournament, and we're just making it easy for everyone. And whenever they can get together, we're just letting them have it. All right, so we talked a little bit about Scott here. Here's a tripwire. I mean, that just gets to ping something, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it was much better in the last matchup when his opponent had two small characters.
Yeah, he had the Night Racer and the Motor Master.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fine card to play in a deck like this. Main deck is I think it's his only blues. I think it's totally fine given the power level and given the ability to play it for free.
Yeah.
As a meta call, obviously it's not going to have a huge effect in this matchup, but unless obviously we're playing off the top, but
Confirm
it's definitely
in the chat
not.
They can hear me now, right? Just want to make sure. Go ahead, keep going. I read in chat that they can only hear you. I just want to make sure they can hear me.
Yeah, I don't. They haven't responded yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
So he was one away from getting the KO. So that's where if it would have been a more impactful card off the top, it would have been much more powerful. I mean, stealing an attack there would have been
amazing.
very, very clutch.
Yeah, it would have been amazing. Yeah.
And see, this is the issue. If he had K-Mean Crashes or One Shot Stand in his deck, I think he just wins this game.
Right.
By stealing an attack from Sky Shadow, because there's absolutely no position here that the Sky Shadow playin, he can't get 2 attacks here. The only way he can get 2 attacks is with attacking with a tank and then somehow having the plane survive. But not knowing his opponent's deck, I would obviously think my opponent had direct damage in his deck, and so if I was left with anywhere close to 2 left, I would be in a world of hurt. Which obviously he feels like is in the same situation. The unfortunate part here is it's not going to cost him anything.
No, yeah, but I mean this is still going to be a pretty nice attack for his first attack of the game. So I mean you're looking at 8-10 there.
I don't think it's Wind Charger's a card. I mean, obviously we wrote the preview on it, but it's a card that I still don't really understand whether or not. Obviously, we knew about it before we knew about Sky Shadow, and the concept of basically using 7 stars to just do a massive hit once and then the card goes away. What is there value in that?
I think the value for me, and this is just after last night, and then right here again tonight, is that opening round, you almost have to KO a character. It's the only option for me. And if you don't, I think the whole thing's kind of a miss. I mean, like you said, if he had the direct damage here and he could steal the attack and he can kill if he was able to KO the plane and then follow it up and maybe have a large hit on the actual Sky Shadow, it'd be okay. But I don't even think that's going to happen.
Right. I mean, so here's a treasure hunt where he only gets an improvisatio, which is
that's a pretty big whiff.
I guess it's better than getting none, but
yeah.
So the problem here is that it's gonna cost another attack right there.
Right, and then that's what we were saying though, is that without the direct damage to follow up for those misses, it's gonna be a common theme if that's what continues to happen.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then you have to hope that I missed who was going with the die rolls because I was starting everything up, but I think you want to go first because of the blaster flip for sure, and then you have to assume though when you're going second that he has to be able to KO the characters attack. So maybe there's actually value in just doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough.
Yeah, the problem is that I think he has to find a way to steal 2 attacks, and the only way to do that is to go first and hope you do well.
And yeah, and to have cards in your deck that allow you to do that, and I don't know that exists. So how much damage? So he just has the 10 on him now.
Yeah. So is this just gonna come in and just bolt the wind charger and get rid of it? You think that's what happens here?
Um, no, because he can just do 2 horrible activations to get rid of it. Like I think it's a waste. I think it's overkill, to be honest with you. Like I wouldn't do that. I mean, he's doing that. So.
Yeah, he's just
But
removing it. That's fair.
yeah, I would just do it to the blaster.
Yeah, I
Personally.
mean, I guess if you have like a Kamian Crash in your hand, you could probably just do it that way.
But I would just take 2 activations as the game goes on. Like that guy's not a threat anymore either,
Right.
like, at all.
Like Horribull could have just literally just played 2 cards a turn and did the exact same thing, and then just bolt whatever. But you know.
Yeah, I just think it's you're quote overkilling by
right
one.
by one. Right.
And I just think it's also it's not costing you a card, but it's costing you like an ability that like the other thing isn't. And I mean, God, if he had Magray in his hand, then I definitely I guess I have to assume he just drew that Magray because otherwise that would have just taken care of him in hand. So.
It would have been really, really good.
Yeah.
Because even there, like if he bolts the Ramhorn, he just takes the force field out of the game also.
Yeah, that's also true. So Ventrick's deck is playing the Decepticon Stratagem, so he has the 2 star cards in his deck. But I think he decided to play 1 Mountain Missiles and 1 whatever that other card's called.
Even the score.
Yeah, I think that's what he did, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, he did. He split it up 1 and 1.
Okay. So like there's your 2 damage right there, like from just flipping Horribull and playing 1 black card.
Mm-hmm. Well, not to mention that it was also 2 damage on the black card.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention it was also a Kamian Crash, but so he doesn't have the force field here, so that's really bad.
Yeah, because it's a good chance that his character's getting KO'd off the board right now.
I mean, there's no chance he's not getting KO'd.
Alright, I was trying to mute for chat for baby that was getting ready to go to sleep. We are good. We're clear now. So, yeah, like that, this is just right, like, everything that could have gone wrong has probably gone wrong at this point. He definitely needed the force field because, like, the whole thing is that he's already at a disadvantage in this matchup, like, is in the 6-4. So, like, his 2 ways out of that are a Wind Charger KOing something and a Ramhorn getting a shield, and neither of those things happen. So, like, this is, like, worst case scenario.
Yeah, or having ways of dealing damage outside of combat, which he doesn't have.
Yeah, and even this, like, with the blaster, like, it's not even like he gets the blaster wheel out of this at all. He doesn't even get close to it, you know?
Yeah, I don't understand the frenzy here at all. Like, I don't think there's any advantage to having frenzy over Steeljaw at all.
Frenzy is the gets rid of tough one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just. I mean, you could have just played. He's already playing 2 belligerences, but he probably could have just played like a third main deck, and then he wouldn't have even needed to play frenzy here. So he's swinging for what 6 with full 6 and 5 cards. So this should be a KO. So it's really going to come down to. I mean, it's definitely
the wipe too. Yeah. So it's 11.
So this is what happened last night too, where
this
like
might not be enough actually, because he hits the blue here. So it's actually he's at 3. He's only going to take 8, and he's going to live.
8, 9. Oh god. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By 1, I guess.
The 1 of backup beam. Get there.
I mean, the good thing here is that, well, it's very hard to tell. Like when I know it's very hard to tell early in the format, like whether that's good or bad. Like, yes, he doesn't get the extra attack, but like from getting Ominous out, and Horribull he can probably survive a Horribull hit without a huge like
extra
first
stuff.
year. Yeah.
But it's like you said, like he doesn't have a follow-up now, you know? There's no follow-up to, like, he doesn't have the direct damage unless he draws the other tripwire in his list. He's not going to have the extra damage.
Yeah, that's the real problem with the deck. And it's interesting because I'd like to actually see what would happen if he had an optimized list for this deck, because I did see that there were ways of gaining some of the advantage back and doing like very large attacks right away.
Yeah,
So,
like I somewhat just stress them is that like in this specific matchup he just has to have the right things happen, and they didn't fall that way. And now there's the second tripwire, so we already know he doesn't have the tripwire in his hand, so he's gonna have to throw another attack at the Sky Shadow. And I think at that point, you're already really far down.
yeah, I mean, if the frenzy gets KO'd here, the game's already over. It doesn't really matter.
Yep, yep, and that's gonna be all charade on that one. Yeah, so Blaster here, like you said, like there, Blaster's always been able to cheat the system. He's always been able to cheat the game. So like having a character like Wind Charger take place at the Fire Drive, like that turn one opening hit, it can be massive if you're just like all in on that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So it
which I think is fine. Which I think is fine. It's just that
I mean we even saw like locally certain decks with the Sentinel Prowl, which kind of represents that same process, but the Wind Charger actually has more base attack on the first turn. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's nearly as good on turn two because like your opponent can obviously just throw a sacrificial lamb in front of him.
right.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how big of a deal that is, to be honest with you. But we'll see. So he's going to Sky Shadow for way overkill, obviously.
I mean, it's his only shot though, because I mean,
well, yeah, he gets rid of it. He gets rid of a hit.
Yeah,
from it, obviously.
like not anything else. I mean, the Ominous is still going to come in here and still going to pick at him for probably it could even be 5 Pierce 5 like fairly easily, and then not to mention the Horribull could also just play 2 cards. Like his character could still be KO'd this turn, which is the honest truth. And especially now with him picking up this Scoundrel's Blaster, like that just might be enough in itself with a black pip and a flip of Horribull.
So he's 4 Pierce 6 now, like guaranteed just by playing that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Against Autobots. So
Right. Right.
yeah, it's interesting. In this tournament, there's a lot of aggro slanted Titan Master decks.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, like what I will say is that like when you are playing an aggro slant to your Titan Master deck, like the heads themselves just have a lot more reach. Because they just represent just like a lot more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're basically getting like usually like a free +2 on them.
Yeah.
And in this situation, I mean like getting Ominous for like essentially for free.
Yeah. So there you go.
Like, all over the place.
He put on the 7 already, and then like we said, like this is already a 4 Pierce 6 type thing. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's
the backup beam goes. Yeah, okay. Okay. I got a little confused there myself. I'm like, why are we doing this?
So what? Oh, he played Wedge, right? Okay.
Yeah, he played the Wedge for the heal and deal, and then he flipped. So you get to 5. So he gets the 5 Pierce 8 or whatever it is there, but he gets
5 over Pierce. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is still, pretty it's just blatantly unwinnable at this point, which is unfortunate. But like I said, when you miss that force field and you miss that Wind Charger, this is kind of the risk you're taking playing the Blaster deck in this meta with all these 6 wide decks, it feels.
Yeah, I just think, I don't think it's unviable. I just think that if it was built differently, it would have more play. Like if it had played Fusion Borer over like Erratic Lightning, or if it had played Camion Crashes, or if it had played things like that, I think that it could make up for the lack of characters.
I respect the cut there.
yeah. We talked about that last night.
Nice.
How,
I like it. I respect it.
You want to cut yourself, yeah.
So this game's going to come to an end here really quickly, son. I want to take this time and kind of ask chat for a second. Do you guys like this new overlay? Is it working? Do you guys like seeing the clock? I made the screens a little bit bigger. I was hoping that this was easier for everyone to see things. So let me get some feedback on that, guys. Let me know if you like the new look to it. Like I said, this is very much a work in progress for us. So we're kind of just running through and trying different things out until it sticks. Right, so that is going to be the end of the first game. I have to go and look at the sideboards real quick, but do you remember what was in Dark's sideboard?
Uh, like more, like just more copies of other cards. There are a lot of them were in his deck. I don't remember anything that
What was his?
like stood out.
So his character is RC. Okay, so he brought in RC for the blue matches. It looks that way. Yeah, so
Yeah,
there's
yes,
two battlefield scan, two decipher, one enemy combat analysis, one escape route, two mat missiles, and two sabotage armaments.
yeah, and the two mounted missiles are obviously there when you bring in RC, which
Right.
it doesn't do much in this situation. So
The armaments are interesting. That's not something we would normally see. I tell you what, last night Decipher was awesome. I don't know if you actually got to see the games that Chuck had played, but he abused that card.
yeah, I haven't yet.
Yeah,
Um,
he had a couple he had a couple in both games in game 1 and 2. Chuck was he was able to do like 6 damage in one game, I think. Like it was actually really strong. Me and Vince were very impressed by the Decipher sideboard tech.
because there were two secret actions in play. Is that what happened?
Yeah, and it happened a couple times. It was really good.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a
I
good
mean,
idea.
it helped that it was against Shockwave and there was a lot of secret actions, but it looked really good in those games.
I've only gotten through, I think. Well, I don't even think I finished the first game of that match as I was rewatching it. Like, I think it was quote over, but like I haven't literally seen like the cards be cleaned up yet. Um, so did that go 3 games? I don't. I think it went 3 games, right?
Game 1 went 3 games. I went to time actually. I'm gonna check in and just let them know. Hey guys, just want to let you know there's 43 minutes and 30 seconds left in the round, so you got plenty of time. I just checked in. I told him tonight I was going to check in more often, let him know with timing after games and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, we're learning. We're learning here, guys. We're trying to make it better.
Yeah, I mean these proxies are really easy to read, so
Yes,
thank you for that.
they helped. They helped. And
Um,
then I'm looking at our Horribull list. He has 2 belligerents, 1 enforcement baton, 1 bashing shield, 2 holomatic projectors, 1 reprocess, and 2 end hostilities. I think like you probably bring the end hostilities in here, right?
yes,
And
for
his
sure.
character is gears, and he has the sabotage. Oh no, he doesn't have the sabotage. Oh yes, he does. He does. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, so he has gears, and that's for the combo match, obviously.
Yeah, I assume he just takes out horrible.
Yeah,
Um,
you take out Horrible and you just bring in gears. And
yeah,
you just like basically dirtle and prevent combo from setting up is the strategy. I've yet to decide if that's gonna work or if it's gonna pay off, but I guess at some point, spoiler alert, there is a combo deck in the tournament, so we'll find out.
assuming they get out of their bracket. I don't know if it's in this bracket, but
No, but
yeah.
it's gonna happen. All right, I assure
Mhm.
you, we're gonna have it. So, do you think the blaster needs to go first again here, or do you think he should take a shot at going second?
I mean, I actually think it's fine to go second because
In my
what is the
opinion, it's
other
a
player going to
guaranteed
attack?
KO, right? That's
Yeah,
my
what is
opinion.
the other player going to attack with? Like, yeah, I think this is a mistake going first.
I,
Like, what does he do here? He attacks with a Sky Shadow piece, and you steal an attack from it. That's exactly what you have to do.
right.
And like by playing 2 cards, that's one way of doing it.
Yeah, no, I agree. To me, it's like the only thing is that you are giving up an attack, and like I said, it's like this is a fight position, so this should work. He should be able to KO the plane on the first attack here if he doesn't hit any blues. Because I mean, you're looking at
Right.
already 7 plus 4 cards. Like, there's a good chance he should get there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So like, if there's
Yep.
no blues here, this is gonna work, and he's gonna steal 2 attacks from him.
Yeah. Totally agree.
All right, and there you go. So he gets it.
Yep.
So he gets the KO, and this is like best case scenario for him. This is exactly what he needed to happen to really give himself a shot in this game. So this is something different from last night. We didn't get to see this happen last night. So now we're gonna see how this plays out on the Sky Shadow side when you lose 2 attacks, because I think that's one of the efficient ways to deal with Sky Shadow is if you can find a way throughout the game to steal 2 attacks.
Still 2 attacks, yeah. One attack can be enough, but
Right,
two
but
is
two, that's
definitely,
what I'm saying. I think two
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like
yeah.
the real big deal, and that's like the best way. And it's obviously not easy to do. That's the thing, but
Yeah.
that he just succeeded. You know, he was able to get away with it. I mean, he's gonna lose his wind charger probably, but hey, that's okay.
I mean, I'll take that trade, yeah.
Right, right.
Deal 2 attacks for my opponent for one character, like,
Yes, yes. That's
I mean,
exactly what he needs to happen.
especially in an aggro deck, yeah, like, totally. So did we forget the lightning bolt as usual?
I will confirm. Did he already draw on everything?
I think so.
Don't forget our lightning bolt, guys. Thank you. We call that
Yeah,
we call that the Gemty rule now. Thanks, Gemty.
Yeah. So Sky Shadow should be able to deal what, 10, like 10 plus the card here, maybe like mathematically maybe more, like 11, I would think.
The answer's a lot.
Yeah, I just wonder.
Yeah.
I guess there's a chance.
It totally
that
depends on the
Wind Charger
card
could
here,
survive.
obviously.
Yeah, there's a chance that Wind Charger could survive, but I doubt it.
You'll be okay, Gemty. You'll be okay. Oh, so here's the Magray. So that's like auto KO, right?
I think. I'm trying to think how this is gonna play out. So he's gonna attack there, and then he's gonna attack. Is he gonna lose a blaster flip? No, he's gonna get it right at the end. So he's not gonna lose it. He's gonna get it. The way it plays out now, assuming that like the ominous doesn't pop out, he'll get the double attacks with the blaster and the frenzy.
Yes.
In the end,
if he doesn't KO the
right.
Sky Shadow, yeah.
Right. So he attacks for 11 here. Yeah.
That's enough.
I mean, it's interesting. Like without the Magray, he doesn't get there. So
right.
That's really interesting. You know?
Now he did not target him with the Horribull either. So he just assumed he was going to get there, which I think is right. I think you just take that chance because, like you said, even if he doesn't KO the Wind Charger there, it's not the end of the world because the next turn he can just flip his Horribull and move the damage anyway. You know.
Yeah, I think Wind Charger is very good here, but I mean, you never get that flip off. I don't know that matters. But
yeah,
like there are certain things like you might want to like.
I think that's part of the process though, right? Because like, it's not like we were ever looking to flip our fire drives or stuff like that, you know. So
no, yeah, you're right.
I don't know that it's a big loss there.
No, you're right. But like if you played things like turbo boosters and things like that, you might actually be able to get
like start your engines and stuff.
Yeah, I would probably
if you go that route.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think this is enough to KO this. It might be if he starting with the blue, it's not going to be. But he would have had to go he would have to come up pretty high because it's at 8 or 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8.
Yeah. So that's not going to be enough.
Especially with flipping 2 blues.
Oof. He did bring in the hostilities like we assumed.
Yeah, I can't imagine what other situation there would be to bring them in.
So it was like 4. It's like, yeah, my guy still has 5 health. Sheesh.
I mean, again, if he has the
force field, I agree. If he has the force field, he has a legitimate shot here.
But see, this is another reason why I don't like Frenzy. Like any one of these actions that he's playing could have just been a confidence into one of those actions if he was not playing Frenzy.
The confidence is a big loss, and it does feel like Frenzy is it had its moments in Wave 4 because there was a ton of like really heavy blue decks running around with the tough. But it does feel in Wave 5 that we're starting to get away from those things. So I think the Frenzy is like even worse now just because like you're not really getting that extra boost of the tough, and you're giving up the confidence to find these new powerful cards. Like if you could play confidence and find belligerence more often, I think you need to be doing that.
Yeah, or finding the non-existent direct damage. Like this would all be. I mean, because you can actually play less of some of these other cards too by getting confidence, just like in these other situations. So
here's the question: so he played the backup beam, so he can't, but he could have potentially taken away the force field again here if he was able to play a black upgrade and a black action.
And flip. Right?
Yeah, and with the flip, he would have been able to take away the force field and maybe get the KO, but with Horribull in the other mode, he might not have been able to get away with it anyway.
Yeah, I agree. But the fact that he's going for Ramhorn for all the damage says to me that like he's. I don't think I think that's a mistake. I think there's absolutely no reason to put the damage on Ramhorn. Like if he has the force field, you're just screwed.
Right.
Because like you said, you can't get enough damage on him to where it matters.
Right.
And like if you're
right, so
if
like if he
guy,
just by doing this right now, if it just goes into him twice, like okay, well, the force field still keeps him alive, so it doesn't matter.
right, and
but don't get me wrong, he can just flip back next turn and just ping him. You know, like that can just easily happen also.
Yeah.
So here's the play here: is like, do you just give it up and you just play the force field on?
No, you play the you play the
Okay.
force field.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I would.
I mean, I guess no matter what he's gonna, because he's gonna get this. He's not gonna get another attack with it, honestly. So that's the only thing here. It's like he's not gonna get to attack with this character again anyway. Unless he KOs the Horribull, which is very unlikely, then that's not gonna happen anyway.
Well, the thing is like he's gonna get 2 attacks here. So like, well, that's the problem with the Titan Masters though. Like he can't get 2 attacks wherever he wants.
I mean, he could
That's part of the
if you
issue.
want to. The thing is, I think you have to like send your first attack into Horribull, and then send your second attack into the Sky Shadow to leave off the Ominous. That's like the way you're gonna have to play this route.
I think you can actually send Blaster into wherever you want. Like if you want, I think I might send Blaster into Horrible here,
Right.
and then send the Frenzy eventually into the Sky Shadow.
Yeah.
If the Blaster doesn't, because the Blaster can survive a hit from what is it? Is it Grax or is it the other one?
Ominous. Oh, the Grax. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like he might be able to survive. I mean, I think he can survive a hit from Grax.
Right.
So it's going to depend on. Obviously, it depends on what he flips here, but Force Field doesn't really do a whole lot. But it doesn't not do anything. So I mean, it's not awful.
He played Force Field on Frenzy.
He hasn't played it.
He's playing. Oh, he just flipped. That's what this flip. Okay.
He flipped the Force Field. Yeah.
I was reading chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for the compliment, guys. It was a team up effort with Vince and I. Yeah, I think that's correct. I mean, like the thing is, the Horribull once again, it can easily just take the force field out of the game. But I think if you're gonna ever get used to the force field, it's gonna be in the next turn. But I don't know that that's gonna happen now, because you had to telegraph it. So like, really, he could just spend 2 turns like harbling the blaster into the range of it anyway. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. This is definitely his best. This has been his best board position so far throughout the match. So this is the time where he needs to he needs to enforce here, and he played a secret action. So what did he boarded in sabotage armaments, I guess. That was
so all he did was play out enforcement batons on this frenzy. So like he didn't have a good card to follow up with.
Right.
I don't think he played in action. So I think he can still KO the Sky Shadow though. He doesn't have tough. Stop it. He doesn't have tough.
But yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Hey guys, put the Rock Toss and the Emperor Ice Shield back on top. You don't have tough this turn. In that order, yes. Thank you. Yeah, so. Good catch.
So it was actually fine. I don't know they actually in the end I don't know if he got there by 1, but like
I guess if
probably he probably flipped well, so it was fine.
I guess doing it this way, you get to protect your blaster longer, right? So like now this guy's either gonna have to go in and attempt to kill a frenzy, or he's just gonna like finish off the Ramhorn here, and then like I guess that's fine either way because you get to like get another turn at this blaster. To maybe try and make a bigger swing, which is good. What he's going to need to do? He's going to need to be able to hit hard enough to keep the numbers game here. So like even if he, let's say if he doesn't finish off the Horribull here, he has the opportunity factor where he can just take out Ominous, and now it is actually a 2-on-2 matchup to where like maybe he gives himself a shot.
Yeah, but this is going to be one of the I played a couple matchups where both players had like Titan Masters and like it's that whole thing where you like never get a second. Like, you never get an untap, and I think that's basically what's going to happen here is, like, his guys are never going to get to swing twice.
Right.
Because it's just going to become this clog board of, like, random new guys popping out all over the place.
Yeah.
And, like, and...
You can see the bashing shield in his hand already.
Well, he got it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got the force field quote for free.
Right. Well, this is also what I'm saying though. Like this is the extra damage here is that he can just do one here, and then he can play another card. Right. Okay. So here it is. So he's gonna do another one. you know?
Yep.
And at that point he's at 8, so like he's almost already out of the force field range, so where he's never gonna have to worry about the bashing shield.
He's at 9 now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just goes to 9. So now he's like, all right, next turn I'm just gonna flip and
Right.
just do it all over again.
Right. I mean, Ominous is going to do nothing here, but he's going to soak an attack, and so it's going to come down to whether it's basically going to come down.
He's gonna do 4 damage or more.
Yeah.
So there's 5.
5.
So you got the 6 pierce 5. 7? No, 7, right? Yeah. No, 6. Yeah. I don't remember all the the starting attacks for these guys yet.
His is weird because of the giant pierce number. But
yeah. And we haven't seen him see too much play outside of the Sky Shadow at all either.
No, I haven't seen him see any. I don't really know what he's very. I don't want to say he's expensive, but he kind of is in a way. Like it's weird to say, but he is.
So you're gonna go with the reboot. So I mean, he puts himself to 7. I mean, If he didn't have a better card, he didn't have a better card, right? So.
I think you just don't play it there because you have no way to get use out of it. You already played your upgrade.
Yeah, I mean the option there is like you could fish for a better upgrade. I just don't know that you can get one that's going to help you KO a 14 health Horribull, you know.
Yeah, this is just like.
But this is my play here. Like, is this a thing? Like, do you just take out Ominous here?
No, I think you have no chance but to do this. I think it's for what 11 here.
Right. So he takes out the Ominous.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake.
Well, I'm saying because now you go back to this 2-on-2 scenario. I mean, the difference is that the Frenzy can't KO the Bull, but with him getting the wheel back, it was never going to happen anyway.
The Horribull just takes out the blaster.
I know, but I'm saying I think no matter what, like he wasn't going to be able to KO that Horribull, so like he's not going to be able to get that play back anyway.
I mean, he did a lot. How much damage did he do? He did like 11.
Yeah, but
2.
He would have took 9 and still had 5 health.
Did he have that much health? Okay.
Oh, he has Grax, so yeah. He had 2 damage on him, so he would have been at 3 health.
So what's he have? 13 total?
No, 9 plus 5, 14.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is just in aggro on aggro. Horribull is ridiculous because you're just getting incremental value and free direct damage out of like your cards, and a deck on the other side just can't compete unless you're getting equally powerful plays. And the deck on the left, well, it's on the left for me. I don't know which side it is on screen, but it's just out of plays that are relevant at this point. This is just a waste.
So well, it's not a waste if you just take the Enforcement Baton, right?
You give your opponent a card. It's a total waste.
I mean, it's dealing the damage is what he needs to do to erase the force field. Is what I'm looking at. So he deals the damage. He gets to put him to 10, and now the force field means nothing.
I guess he has no other black card in his hand, but he has 4 cards in hand. So
yeah.
I mean, if he has no other black card, I mean, I guess it's fine.
No, and then I think he just has a Javelin that he's gonna play here. Yeah, and I know this is melee, but the point is that if his Bull dies, like he's gonna have a Grax with a free Javelin type scenario.
Oh, it's totally fine. Yeah, this is. I'm fine with playing Enforcement Batons. I mean, Javelin as a white primary laser. I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, so he gets to what? 6, 8, 9.
Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he would have, even if he would have put the force field on, well, if he would have put the force field on Frenzy.
No, you just direct the damage again. It's the Horribull just completely erases the force fields. Like other than the actual Ramhorn attack, which once again, if he had enough black cards early on, he would have just erased that force field as well. But that's the whole point, is that the Horribull just gets around the force field so easily that it's not very helpful here.
Yeah, this is not a positive matchup for Blaster in any way, shape, or form.
No, like I said, you definitely need a lot of things to go right and go in your favor.
I think very early on, when we were talking about Titan Master's attack, I think they even said that some of the concepts that they used for Blaster and Soundwave were the way that they thought about how the heads were actually going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that here. Like, yes, you're getting advantage when these characters pop out for Blaster, but it's nowhere near the advantage of the characters that are the heads are just way more powerful than what these cassettes are.
Right. Right.
But there are little things like I do think if you had played Steeljaw, he would have been in this matchup. He probably would have been able to put out more of an offense. Like if he would have popped out Steeljaw, I even think if he would have if he would have popped out Frenzy on turn 1 instead of Ramhorn, he might have saved himself an attack also on the Sky Shadow.
That's possible. Yeah.
Because you lose the tough, and to be honest with you, like I guess you can't give up the Wind Charger attack. So I mean, it's still really, that's probably what I would have done is like, I just don't see what the late game Frenzy does versus the early game one, when there's actually a target where his ability matters. So.
Right. So he gets a 9 here. He defends 1, takes 8, but he's still only at 10. He's gonna live.
So that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't play an action, which I don't really. I mean, his hand must be bad. So.
Yeah, as chat's pointing out, like even with stealing the 2 attacks, at that point you're still just even. No, you're still up 1 for crying out loud. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I mean, you're. I mean, still more.
Like I said, it's the best case scenario. He had to do it. Like that's his only shot in the match.
Yeah, I just think
he had he had very, very, weak turns. Also, like his draw was not efficient. Like his blaster attack. Like he didn't have like the 2 offensive plays. I don't think at any point during the game, which I think that's obviously hurting him as well.
Because his treasure hunt did nothing.
Right. Yeah, the treasure hunt was just a miss.
Yeah. So like. Yeah.
We're just gonna kill him. Are we just gonna kill him out of combat here?
It's 3 damage though.
Well, it's 1, and then it's 2,
1.
and then it's a move to do a 3.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. If he has the black upgrade, he gets to just do it. He's doing it for the memes.
Yeah, like if I don't mean to sound like I'm dissing on the deck or the way it was built. What I'm trying to just look for is whether or not there's viability to the strategy itself if it was adjusted.
Right. And I think there is. Like I said, the shows, like the Wind Charger showing that like if he can KO things on that first turn, it's very, very possible that you could retool this to try and defend a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to mute myself to chat. So if you want to interact with chat for a couple while I go over some stuff with them, that's what we're gonna do. Okay.
Do you want to ask the other game if they want to start early?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna need to do. So.
Okay. Yeah. So those of you in chat that I think are there listening, if you want to start your match early, just let us know. Yeah, card disadvantage doesn't really matter. I mean, you noticed that the Blaster player had multiple cards in his hand at any one time. Like, yeah, I think he ended the game with like 5 cards in his hand. So if I could have dug 2 deeper and gotten exactly Blaster is a deck that needs you have to get cards.
Yeah, I boarded out my counter espionage
at the exact right
I didn't
time.
think there was any great.
So you have to have the force field when the Ramhorn gets attacked.
Not a whole lot against me.
Yeah.
Always be playing most efficiently, upgrades and action. So
Yeah,
hey, what's up, Dan?
we can hear you.
Not too bad.
Good.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. It was a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning there. I was like watching the stream instead of playing my side. Like not watching the stream. I meant like watching my screen in front of me of him playing, and in the mindset that I'm watching a stream.
So I think our second matchup is going to feature.
So that kind of threw me off a little bit for the first couple.
Essentially,
and I know I had some weird decision points.
It's a Sky Shadow mirror
may have
per
made some
se,
weird
but
plays, but
it's one of them is a
they worked out.
4 wide list and one of them is a 3 wide list, I believe.
All right, later.
Good. Thanks, buddy.